Hello guys, welcome back to C Fashion Academy. This is the continuation of the bomber jacket. This is the sewing part. So please, I want you to make sure you watch this video to the end and make sure you give us a thumbs up if you actually love it. Then if you are new to this channel, make sure you click on that subscribe button. It is free of charge. Click on that subscribe button so that you shall be the first to be notified anytime we post a new video. Thank you and may God bless you. So as you can see guys, the first thing we'll be doing is to be turning the pocket. We all remember how we cut the pocket, so if you don't know how we cut the pocket, I advise you to go back to the cutting video so that you will see the cutting process. Okay, first turn the pocket so as for it to be neat or well finished. Then after cutting the pocket, as you can see, these are the places that we are sewing. I first stitch the other side. Now I'm going to also stitch this very side. As you can see, now we are done stitching it. Next thing we are going to be doing is what? Make sure you stitch the other part of the pocket and turn it. As you can see, I'm actually turning it. As you can see, yes, make sure you turn it, which after you finish turning it. Okay, let's turn the second one. As you can see, I'm turning the second one. Okay, this is to enable the finishing come out very fine. Okay, so after we are done turning it, next we'll be doing is what? We'll be ironing. As you can see, we are actually ironing it. Please make sure you iron so as for the finishing to come out very well. Okay, so guys, as you can see, we are done ironing. So after ironing, next thing we are going to be doing is we are going to be placing it on the what? On the dress itself, the front part of the dress. As you can see, this is the front pocket. So we are going to be placing it on the front part of the dress. So I'll be showing you guys how to place it, which after we finish placing it, we are going to stitch it onto the front part of the dress, which after doing that, we are now going to do what? To close the sides of the bomber jacket. We are going to be closing both the left and the right hand side. Okay guys, as you can see, this is the front part. Now I'll be showing you guys how to place it. As you can see, whatever you're seeing here is how to place it, so please make sure you do yours like this. Okay, take it and place. Thank you. Now make sure that as you are placing it, it is equal to the one on the dress. Please make sure that it is what? Equal. Now take your pin and hold it together so as for it not to shift while sewing. Take your pin and hold it so as for it not to shift while sewing. Okay, please, whatever you do on the left hand side, that is what you do on the right hand side. Okay, please, I want you to know that as we'll be placing the one on the right hand side, please make sure that it is exactly equal to the one on the left hand side. Please, this is to avoid after sewing. As you can see, I'm placing it so that it will be equal. As you can see, mine is actually what? Equal. Please, the reason why I'm doing this thing is so that when you finish putting your zip, everything will be equal. Your two pockets will be what? Equal while looking at it. Okay, so that is it. So after we are done, so we are now going to sew. So I'll be taking us to the machine to show us how to do the stitching.
So after I'm done placing it, before I will couple the sides, do you understand? The next thing I'm going to do is what? I'm going to be sewing here. Look at it, especially here. Do you understand? Then you cannot proceed by holding these other ones like this. Do you understand? But major place is what? Here. You also do the same thing what? Here. Do you understand? So that's what I'm going to. So after I'm done doing this one now, I will now proceed by doing what? Coupling the sides, both the lining. So that is it. So as you can see, when I couple here like this, as you can see, our pocket is what? Ready. There is something I really want to teach us now. This thing is about finishing. Do you understand? It is not compulsory, but it's about finishing. Let's say I want to sew this thing here only. It is not bad. Do you understand? Sewing it only here. But you can also sew it in a way that there will be stitch here, then you will not continue from here. Do you understand? Either way, any way you want to do it, it's all about the what? The finishing. So if I want to sew here, only here directly, it's still okay. But I can also do something like this. Look at it very well. Are you seeing it? See how I folded it? Only this one. Then I now start by doing this. Please just know that this one is not what? Compulsory. It depends on how you want to do what? Finish your dress. Now, enter in small. Are you seeing it? When you enter in small, you can then do what? Cut it off. Now, the next thing, as you can see, we stopped here. Next thing you do is what? You now have to do what? Continue from here. Are you seeing it? So at the end of the day, okay, let's first of all do this stitching. Now I now have to continue. Then I have to do what? Back stitch in order to make it what? Strong. You understand? So that it will not tear off easily. So next thing is what? You continue sewing from here. Understand? Okay. Please, you do exactly the same thing on the other side of the pocket. Okay, as you can see, the pocket is ready. Are you seeing it? Look at it. The pocket is what? 100% ready. Okay, please do the same thing on the other side. Now, there's something I want to tell you. You see exactly whatever you are using. If you're using half, if you're using one, please always memorize it. Know that it is the same thing you use on all sides, both the line. Else, this is going to be difficult for you while sewing it. As you can see, I'm actually using exactly the same thing I used on their part. This bomber jacket really needs more precision than other clothes you've been making. So you can see we've joined the two sides. Are you seeing it? So next thing we're doing now is what? Let's join the shoulder.
So guys, as you can see, the next thing is what we are going to be closing the shoulder. As you can see, please, we close the left side of the shoulder and we also close the right side of the shoulder. So please make sure you close both of them with the same allowance. That is with the same, which what we're actually using here is what? Half inch. We are going to use it and close this very side and also use it and close what? The other side. Please, I want you to know that whatever you do on material is exactly the same thing you do on what? Lining, because this we are sewing is called what? Inner sewing. Please, I want you to know that. Now, as you can see, we have done doing this one. We are still going to do what? Sew this one with what? Half inch. Please, let me repeat it once again. Whatever you do on this very one is exactly the same thing you do on the what? Lining. Please make sure you sew the lining the both sides and the what? The shoulder. Get it ready for what? The elastic, which we are going to be fixing on the down part. As you can see, I'll be showing us how to fix the elastic on the down part. So before fixing the elastic, we need to cut out this piece of material, 4 pieces of material, which is what? 2 for material and 2 for lining. So as you can see the image on your screen, this is the reason why we are cutting this 4 piece in order to couple it with the what? Elastic. So please make sure you cut out these 4 pieces of material. Making use of the measurement you can see on your screen now. As you can see, the length should be 5 inches, while the width or the thickness should be what? 3.5. 3.5 because I'm using elastic of what? 3 inches. So by looking at your screen, after you finish interfacing it, please make sure, as you can see, this is the 2 pieces cut and the other one is for the other part. So make sure you fold out one side. As you can see, fold out one side. Make sure you fold out half inch. This part we are folding half inch, we are going to be using it on the lining, while the other part that is unfolded, we are going to be using it on the material. Please make sure you do the same thing on this other side. Make sure you fold out half inch. Okay, so please, I still want you to know that the measurement we use in cutting this thing is what? 5 inches is the length, then the depth or the thickness is what? 3.5. Okay.
This one we folded is going to be going on the what? Lining, while this one is going to be going on the what? Material. Okay, please, you can as well use the same material you use for your what? Lining for this particular one you folded. Okay, so next thing we are going to be doing, now look at it. Take this one that is not folded, sew it like this. Are you seeing it? Sew it like, so that at the end of the day it comes out like this. Are you seeing it? Okay, sew it like this. Okay, please, as you are sewing, please make sure you remain what? Half inch. Okay, now look at what I'll be doing. Place it. Please make sure you always precise. Whatever you use here is the same thing you use on the other side.
So as you can see, we are done sewing on the material. So we will now be sewing on the what? The lining. Now we'll be sewing on the lining using the one you actually folded. As you can see on your screen, that is what I'm actually doing now. So make sure you sew. As you can see, we are done. So as you can see, we are done fixing both the one on the material and both the one on the lining. Okay.
So as you can see, this is my elastic. So you don't just go ahead fixing it here. Do you understand? So by me looking at this, you notice that
this particular stuff you are seeing here, are you seeing it, has shortened the distance from here down to this particular point. Do you understand? So what you need to do is what you need to measure the distance from here, are you seeing it, then to this particular point. That is what you need to measure. So now let's measure it out. So as you can see, what we have is what, 36 inches. So it means that normally we are supposed to cut what, 36 inches, but because it is elastic, we need to do what, reduce. Do you understand? We need to reduce it. Instead of it being 36 inches, you can minus from 5 to what, 8 inches from the original length. You understand what I mean? To get to, thank you, to make it just gather the normal way bomber jacket is supposed to gather. Do you understand? So when you measure from here to here, what we have is what, 36. So you can subtract what, 5, 6, 7, 8 inches. Do you understand? Depending on how gathered or how you want it to be. Do you understand? So that is what we'll be doing. So but for the sake of this particular tutorial, we'll be subtracting what, 6 inches. Thereby we'll be cutting out what, 30 inches. Please, if you want yours to gather more, you know that you need to do what, subtract more. Not 5 inches, not 6 inches. You can maybe subtract anything you want to subtract.
You going like this, you don't know yourself. You going like this.
So you must not subtract this particular one. This okay, so now as we are done cutting it out, next thing you need to do, first of all, check the front and the back. Some of us don't know that this thing usually have front and the back. Yes, sometimes. Where's the front? Here, sure. Okay, so you place the front to the front. You understand? So that is what we'll be doing now. Now look at it. See the front. Are you seeing it? This is how you place it. So first of all, remember this ½ inch that I left here. So I'm going to be sewing it here. Now look at it. Another ½ inch will be remaining here. Are you seeing it? This one is for seam allowance. So I'm going to be sewing. Now look at how I'll be sewing it. From here, place it like this. So place it very well so that the elastic won't frustrate you, because elastic can frustrate. So as you can see, now by me looking at it, as you can see, are you seeing it? I'm done sewing it out. So I'm still going to do the same thing on the other side. Look at it. Are you seeing it? I'll be doing the same thing on this particular side. Are you seeing it? So look at it here. Are you seeing it? I'm still going to do the same stitch here. Look at it. Just remember, you have to use what, ½ inch to sew. Okay guys, as you can see, after I'm done sewing, as you can see, what you can see here, are you seeing it? This one is now shorter than this one. So all we need to do is we need to sew that part. As you see, we're sewing by what? Stretching it out. Are you seeing it? Okay, now let's sew this particular part. Okay. Okay, as you can see, start from here, start stitching from here. Now you don't just start stitching. Do you understand? The secret there is that you do what? You expand as you sew. Are you seeing it? Make it to be what? Equal, so that the whole gather and the whole folding to be what? Equal. Now look at it. You see, I cannot just hold it permanently, hold it like this. Do you understand? So I've just, okay, so now start sewing. As you can see, when you reach at this point, you also do what? Expand again. You can also hold it here because you cannot hold everything at the same time. Please be careful while sewing this, because elastic really know how to frustrate somebody. Are you seeing? See what is remaining? So finish it up. Okay guys, after you are done sewing it, as you can see,
Look at it. Are you seeing it? The front is fully formed. Are you seeing it? The front is fully formed. Okay, so we will now be doing what? Joining both the front and the back together. Do you understand? We'll be joining both the front and the back together. So how do we do that? Simple, by doing what? Placing it like this. Are you seeing it? Okay, as you can see, we've already look at it. Are you seeing it? Front to front. Are you seeing it? Now this particular one shouldn't be this way. Are you seeing it? You need to do what? Put it in like this. Are you seeing it? Put it in like this. Then at the end of the day, please make sure that here it's actually equal, so that when you expand this one, look at it, it will be equal with the what? This particular one. Are you seeing it? That is it. So next thing you need to do is what? You shouldn't start from here sewing. Start from this particular edge. Are you seeing it? Okay. Start from here to sew. Okay, look at it. Start from here. Okay, so now as you are sewing, please, I want you to know, see, you're following this particular part. Are you seeing it? Here it has to be what? Equal to this particular point. And also you need to be doing what? Drawing the what? Elastic. You can as well sew directly on top of the line you actually stitched on before. Do you understand? Sew on top of it. So guys, as you can see, we are done joining both the what? Lining and the material. Now see how this part looks like. Are you seeing it? Neatly and what? Well done. Are you seeing it? So now the only part remaining now around here is what? This particular point. Are you seeing it? So all we need to do is to do what? Look at it. We need to do what? Make sure we find a way to do what? Sew out this particular one. Do you understand? So
No, don't make me listen.
She's not getting it.
as you can see, are you seeing it? So I can end up doing what? Making sure I fold like this. Are you seeing it? So look at it. Depending on how you want to fold yours. Is as you are folding, there's something I want you to do. Always make sure that this one is more than what? This one. Are you seeing it? With a little. I mean, the one from the lining.
It's more than one.
So now look at it. As you can see, I'm done sewing. Now please always know, please make sure you don't forget, the distance from here to here is something as from here to here. Okay, then at the end of the day, you now see that I will not do what? I will not have to do what? Turn it. So when I turn it, as you can see, I am actually done with this particular point. Please, I want you to know that with this method that I'm working on, this particular method that I'm using, is I want you to know this particular method I'm using here, I'll be doing what? Hemming it out. Do you understand? But there's also another method that you will not hem it out, rather you do what? You sew it out. But for this particular tutorial, this is the method that I'm using. As you can see, you hem it out. Are you seeing it? Put hemming gum inside and you do what? Hem it out. Now look at it. This one is actually what? Red. This is the same process you use and do what? Form the other one. Close the other one. So guys, as you can see, we are done coupling this side. As you can see, look at it here. Are you seeing it? So all you need to do is to do what? Iron it out. And here is what? Ready. Now look at that thing I was telling us. Here must be what? Equal. Are you seeing it? Both the two. So as at the end of the day, this one will also be what? Equal. This is how we do it. Each step you have to be precise. If not, small error leads to what? Big error. That is it. So after we are done working on this one, next stage is what? Is the sleeve. Now as you can see, the sleeve we've already cut it, as you can see. So all you need to do is to do what? You need to what? Close it out. Now we'll be closing it out, as you can see. We'll be closing it out with what? Either half inch, 3/4, or what? 1 inch. Now why did I say half inch, 3/4, or 1 inch? It depends on what? How fitted or how what? Free you really want it to be. Remember what I added here was what? 2 inches allowance. Yes, but because it is a bomber jacket, you don't need it to be what? Too fitted. Do you understand? So in that case, I'll be closing mine with what? I'll be closing mine with half inch. Do you understand? So that is what I'll be doing both on the what material and on the what lining. So that is the first stage in coupling the sleeve. So as you can see, I'm done ironing the sleeves, which I joined with half inch each. So now I'm going to cut the elastic for the wrist, for the band here. Do you understand? So what we do is see the normal wrist. Let's say let's say this is the person we are working for. The normal wrist is 7 inches. Do you understand? Okay, let me tight it. Is 6.5. Do you understand? Now there is something I usually do depending on the elastic you're using. You know, some elastics, some are thicker than others, some stretches more than others. Do you understand? So depending on how your elastic stretches, that will depend what you use here. So now, but for me, majorly, since normally this thing used to be here, do you understand? Like this is where we are supposed to measure, but I don't measure here. Like I said, I measure from here. Do you understand? I measure from here. So what do we have here? What do we have here? 8.5. Do you understand? Or 9. Are you seeing it? 9. So now why I use here is because, let's say example, this is it's not as stretchy as it's supposed to be, and you go ahead using here. That means we normally draw our bomber jacket like this. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, you cannot draw it. When you draw it, it will not be blocking your blood vessels. Do you understand? It will be too tight. So that's the reason why I used here. So that when you wear it, see, officially, just check officially your bomber jacket that they sell ready to wear. Here is not used to be tight. No, you know they're tight. It's only the ones we make ourselves that we usually make here to be tight. Officially, it doesn't used to be tight. The same thing to here. Officially, bomber jackets here don't used to gather too much. It's the one we made for ourselves. So that is it. So let's say for this particular one, I'll be using the same 9 inches. Do you understand? So that means I will not be using exactly 9 inches. So I'll be using 10 inches. Do you understand? The reason for the 10 inches is I have half inch on both sides for the same allowance for the joint. So as you can see, I've actually cut it out, as you can see. So now next thing we'll be doing is to be closing it. Now there is a method I use in closing it. As you can see, I don't how do I say it? I don't just close it. Do you understand? So in order to have a better finishing, there is a way I close it. I make it to be like interlocking. Do you understand? Inner locking. See, look at the way I close it. Let's say as it is now. Are you seeing it? I fold like this and so. Then come and fold it like this again. Are you seeing it? At the end of the day, it will be neater. Do you understand? Now look at it. From here, are you seeing it? Okay, I can sew on this part. Are you seeing it? Then I will now do what? I have to fold this one and then sew on this very part. So that is what I'll be doing now. Then after, I will show us how to fix it on the sleeve. As you can see, are you seeing it? This is the wrong side. Are you seeing it? So now leaving like 1/4 inch here. Are you seeing it? So next thing you need to do is look at it. It's so simple. Fold here. Are you seeing it? When you fold here, you fold here again like this. Are you seeing it? So now you now have to do sew on top of here. Okay, because this is elastic and because this is round, it is not usually easy to sew on. Do you understand? So but you have to do find a way, manage and do your stitching. Look at it, fold it. Are you seeing it? As you can see, it is well finished. We are not seeing any extra allowance. Are you seeing it? Well finished, the front and the back. Are you seeing it? Okay. See, I'm about to do couple the fix the band on the sleeve. So now look at this. This is the front part. Are you seeing it? This is the back part. Although you cannot be able to do differentiate them very well because of how I couple there, but always know your front and the back part. Okay, so all you need to do is to do look at it. This is front, as you can see. Now this is what turned back. Are you seeing it? Now take this joining. Are you seeing it? Take this joining here. Put this thing inside. Now look at it. Put it in. Are you seeing it? Put it in. Okay. Put it in like this. Are you seeing it? Okay. Now start from here, start sewing, and make sure that you do a stretch. Are you saying it? In order to complete your stitching. As you can see, my own did not even have much allowance. Like, it's because of how I cut this particular side. Just like if you cut your own bigger, that means you're going to stretch more. Okay. So now start sewing. You can use quarter inch, half, or anything you want to use. Are you seeing it? Stretch it so that you know when you are sewing it. Stretch it like this. Okay, so now look at it. Are you seeing it? When I turn it like this, are you seeing this side? Eh? This is still the back. Now when I turn the front, let me turn the front. You see how fine it looks? Are you seeing it? It looks fine. Are you seeing it? Okay, so this is how you do. Now remember that we still have our what? Lining to sew on this one. So how do you work with the lining? Okay, now make sure you put it back once again. Are you seeing it? So how do you work with the lining? Take your lining. Always remember that this is the back part. Are you seeing it? Where you see the joining, the same thing to this one. Are you seeing it? This is the back part where you see the join. Now you can see these two joining. Are you seeing it? So it's as simple as ABC, just by doing what? Look at it from here. Are you seeing it? Place to this particular point. Are you seeing it? Then you do what? Follow the same guide and do what? Sew round. That is it. This as you sew, make sure you stretch, because this one has already done what? Stretched itself because of the elastic. Please follow the guide and do what? Complete your stitch. Okay. So in it, are you seeing it? So now, if I'm to turn it so that all of us will see both the front and the back. So let's first of all see the back. Hold the elastic. Are you seeing it? Now look at it. Are you seeing the back? Okay. So now let me turn to see the front for us to see the front. Turn it. Are you seeing the front part? So this is as simple as how you do what? Couple this thing out. Are you seeing it? This is how you do what? Couple it out. So you do exactly the same thing on the other sleeve. Then I will now show us how to do what? Fix the armhole on the what? Body of the dress. As you can see, turn the back. Are you seeing it? Also do the same thing here. Turn the back. Are you seeing it? So from here, I'm starting from the what? The this particular joining. Are you seeing it? That's where I'm starting. So I'm going to be doing it like this. Okay, so please, whatever you do on this one is the same thing you are going to do on the what? The lining, the same thing you are going to do on the other sides, please. Okay, now start joining. Are you seeing it? I think I've successfully coupled this particular one, the one on the material. Now, let me look for a way to do what? Turn it. Now, by men looking at it, as you can see, I've successfully done one, coupled this particular one. Are you seeing it? Please, for now, leave the lining. You understand? For now, also do the same thing on the other side. Okay. See, we are done coupling the what? The material to material. So now it's now time to couple the what? Lining to lining. So as you can see, so it will be so easy for us to do that. Just the same way we do on this particular one, it's the same way we are still going to do on this particular one. Okay, now so looking at how I do this particular one. Now look at it. First of all, make sure that this is not twisting. Are you saying it? Do it like this. Make sure it's not twisting. So at the end of the day, you now look out for the what? Now look at it. You now look out for the what? Look at it. Look out for this point. Are you seeing it? The armpit region. Now, after untwisting it, if actually it got twisted. Now, also look at this one. See. Are you seeing it? Look at this one. Are you seeing it? Now look at the armhole region. Look at the armpit region also. Are you seeing it? So now it will be going from the what? Armpit to what? Armpit. Are you seeing it? please, if I'm to repeat it, untwist this one. After you are done doing that, that means you get the armpit part. Are you seeing it? Make sure you merge it to this particular armpit part. Are you seeing it? So now how are we going to join it? Now look at it. The way we are going to join it, now look at it. Are you seeing it? As it is like this, see, both of them are like this. Are you looking at it now? Now see, do like this. Have you seen it? Thank you. Then you now start doing what? Sewing. Obviously, you know how to finish it up the same way we finished the other one. So do the same thing on the other sleeve, and we are done with the what? Sleeve. Major, see, it's just the normal way you fix your sleeve. The major thing I did here, I made very well known to you guys, was that twisting. Be careful of the twisting. That's just the major thing I did here, nothing else. And you know you have your neck, so it's not struggle. So anyway you want to fix it. What I mean by you have your neck is that you have total open place, not even just your neck. You have neck and your center, like both of them are so open. So
okay, yeah.
Yes, man. You don't need to struggle. You don't struggle. So now this one I'm coupling. As people can see, I'm not like struggling trying to couple these two together. And if you're wondering, how are they exactly equal? They're exactly equal because I cut equal, I sew equal. So there's no way they cannot be equal. And as you people can see, even before I started sewing, somehow I checked it. Assuming they are not equal the way I want, I will adjust one before coupling. You understand? So now, so you guys can see I'm done sewing. So as you can see, are you seeing it? Here is done. Then now when you turn this one, are you seeing it? Wow. Here is done. Are you seeing it? So wow. So now you do the same thing on the other sleeve. In order for us to fix the zip, do you understand? It's just the normal way we fix our zip. Do you understand? Okay. So now let's start fixing this. Please, if you want, you can make this thing to be reaching the end part. Do you understand? If you want, you can lift it up a little bit. It just depends on your choice. And also, I will also be looking for a way to do what? Remove this label, which is not supposed to be here. So that means I'll be starting from here. Do you understand? Okay. So now let's start sewing. Please make sure you don't sew together with what? The lining. You understand? Separate. Look at it. It was like this. Together with the lining. Are you seeing it? When I place this thing, I do what? I separate it. Are you seeing it? Okay. So that's it. So you now sew to the what? End. This is how you do this particular part. Then I'll show you the other part. So as you can see, guys, I'm done stitching this particular part. Are you seeing it? Okay. So now see what we are going to do now. See the next thing we are going to do. Now look at it. We are going to, the way I stitch my own zip is that I'm going to start from what? The upper part. Do you understand? That is just the way I do my own zip. From down then to the what? The upper part. But for you to see, that's why I keep saying that you must be precise, which means you are going to start exactly from where you stopped. Do you understand? So now let's say in a situation whereby everything you stitched, they are not equal. The length is going to show here. It will frustrate you here. Do you understand? So at the end of the day, so as you can see, I've started sewing from here. Have you started? Okay. So now, first thing you need to do is to do what? Check. Now, as you can see, even as I'm checking on this one, it seems as if one is longer. Do you understand? So, on a very good day, if you really want to manipulate immediately, if you think you cannot continue, shift this one from here. You can always work on that one. You understand what I mean? See, not just only this one you'll be checking, you also check this one. Are you seeing it? So that means I really need to shift this upper part. Do you understand what I mean? If I see, since I think I cannot continue, it's going to struggle, be sewing with struggle. Have you seen it? One is longer. So that means here there is a problem here. Do you understand? So I'm going to push it a little bit with whatever that was remaining here. Let's say 1/4 inch. I'm going to push it up with 1/4 inch. People can see what I just did. Because of that thing I wanted to correct. What I left here, I'm leaving the same thing. If not, it will not be the same thing. So guys, are you seeing it? So now let me open it up to see whether what we did actually works. If you don't calm down, the way this cloth is, even when you are unfolding it, it's so confusing that you start, being frustrated. Wow. As you can see, it's rhyming. Both of them. Are you seeing it? This one is rhyming to this one, is rhyming to this one. So that's the major reason why we've been precise all this while. It's because of this part you're seeing here now and some other parts. So in order to conclude the zip is what we are going to join the lining to the what material. Okay, so in order to do that, first thing you need to do is to do what? Unzip. You understand? First do what? Unzip. You must unzip. Okay, then now you are done unzipping. Next thing you need to do is what? Look at it, just like this. Oh. Are you seeing it? Yeah. Are you video? Okay, just turn it like this. Are you seeing it? Then you now start sewing, following this particular guide. Do you understand? Okay. Now the truth is that you when you want to follow this guide, you want to start from here. Do you understand? But it just depends on you, my dear. Me, I can still choose to start from here because my mind is telling me that if I start from this side, I might end up having excess here. Okay, so that is it. So like I said, I'll be working on the neck. So after we are done here, I'll be working on it. So first thing you need to do is to measure the neck to see whether it's corresponding to your actual neck measurement. If it is more than your actual neck measurement, let's say in a way that your actual measurement is 16 and what you have is 17, 18, that means it is very okay. You understand? But if what you will get here is less than that 16, that means it is not okay in any way. Do you understand? So you need to do trim it. Okay, but what we have here, it is okay. So we are going to be working on the elastic on the neck. So in order for us to work on the elastic, all we need to do is to do what? We are not going to be working with the 3 inches like we used on the hand and on the base part. Do you understand? We're working with 2 inches. 2 inches, not 3 inches. So first of all, that one is not up to. So first of all, I need to do reduce this particular one to 2 inches. That is what I need to do first of all. Okay, so I'll be reducing it to 2 inches. Okay, so as I'll be working on the neck, as you can see, I've reduced this one to 2 inches. So since the neck is 17 inches total, in fact whatever the neck is total, divide it into 2. Do you understand? When you divide it into 2, please, there's something you need to do. You shouldn't immediately, like let's say example now, since I divided into 2, okay, what do we have? Your 17.5 divided by 2 is 8 3/4 shade. Okay, you don't just measure 8 3/4 folded. Do you understand? No. Why? Because this is elastic band. When you do it, at the end of the day, the elastic will now be more than the material. So you need to do it in a way that the material will be more than the elastic. Do you understand? Yeah. Okay, that is it. But you shouldn't make it to be so much that it will drag everything. No. So what do you do? Neck 17.5 divided by 2 is 8 3/4. So minus maximum of 2 inches from that 8 3/4. You can subtract 1 to 2 inches from that 8 3/4, depending on how stretchy this one is. Do you understand? Like this one now is very, very stretchy. It's free. Do you understand? So now that 8 3/4 minus 2 is 6 3/4. Okay? So I'll be cutting out 6 3/4. Okay. Now fold it like this and cut out 6 3/4. Okay. Yeah. Okay, so now I've cut it out. Now look at it. This is the for the collar. Are you seeing it? For the neck. Okay, what I'm going to be doing now, see, this one is very, very simple. Please, this one is very, very simple. Now look at it. Look at what I'll be doing now. I will be cutting it from here. Look at it like this. Are you seeing it? I'll be cutting it from here. So how do you achieve this thing? Who can tell me? 1 diagonally, mark out what? 1 1. Are you seeing it? That is how you achieve this. Diagonally mark out what? 1. Are you seeing it? So you curve it. So at the end of the day, you do what? You cut it out. Okay guys, as you can see, I've actually cut it out. Are you seeing it? So next thing now remaining is to do what? Add it to the what? Dress itself. Because you can see now, looking at this now, you can see that it's only the neck that is remaining, and we are done cutting out the what? The elastic band for the neck. So what we need to do now is to do what? Like I've already done it. Are you seeing it? I've made sure that there is ½ inch remaining here. Do you understand? So that means when you are coupling your zip, you don't sew straight to cover up everything. Do you understand? You remain what? ½ inch for the what? The elastic band for the neck. Okay, so now for us to sew this, now look at what we're doing. Look at it from here. Are you seeing it? From here, this is how you sew it. From here, sew like this. From here, okay, keep it like this. Get this very well. Okay, so make sure you sew it. Please don't draw it yet. You understand? Don't draw it yet. Make sure you sew it like this, till you reach where? Almost to the what? Middle part. You understand? Whatever you want to use, my dear, whether you use ½ inch or you use ½ inch, sometimes our seam allowance is just by what we really want to use, but I advise you usually use what? ½ inch or ½ inch for this particular one. So when you start reaching before the middle part, you do what? You stop. So when you stop, please repeat the same thing on the other side. So how do you repeat the same thing on the other side? Look at it. You take this one and place like this. Are you seeing it? So I'll be sewing on this particular side also. Okay. Okay, so the same thing we'll be doing here. So now see what you're going to be doing now. You seeing it? Okay, let's first of all keep sewing. Let's first keep sewing. So when you get to almost the same point you got to this point, do you understand? You do what? Expand it. Please, you do what? Expand it. You can see it will now be very easy for me to sew. So now looking at this point, as you can see, this is the ending part of this thing now. So what are we going to do now? Look at it. As this one is like this, are you seeing it? Turn this one to this point. Are you seeing it? Now turn it like this. Turn it like this. Now bend this one towards this part. Are you seeing it? Okay, make sure it relaxes. Then what you are going to be doing is what? You are going to be sewing according to this particular line. Okay, now since this is the part that we finish the whole dress, that means we are not going to sew everywhere. We are going to be remaining small part that we will do what? Escape from. You understand? If not, you will sew and lock yourself inside. You understand? It's like when you are in a, how do I even say, when you're in a house, you lock yourself and leave the key outside. So start sewing like this. Follow the guide you already have here. Do you understand? Okay. Now sometimes the material the lining used to stretch. So sometimes what I do is that, since I know that material must stretch, what I do is that I purposely start stretching the what? The material itself. Do you understand? As I follow the guide. So as I'm sewing now, all I do is that if immediately I reach here, do you see it? Immediately I reach here, I stop and I do the same thing on the other side till I reach at a point that I will no longer start sewing. I will no longer sew again. A point that I will do what? I will only do what? But stack. Now, if you really want your work to be equal, always make sure that each joining points are equal. Are you seeing this one? Make sure that this one is equal too. As you can see, after you are done with that one, all you need to do is to do what? Turn it. Okay, please now do the same thing here. Now look at it. Turn it this way. As you can see, like this. So as you can see, now keep sewing to reach at a point that you can no longer sew. Do you understand? That is the point that you turn. So guys, as you can see, now look at it. You now see this small part is remaining. Are you seeing it? So we all know what we can do to this part. Is either you hem it or you do what you tack it with your what? Needle and thread. You know how to do that inner tacking that nobody will even see. You understand? Tack it with your what? Needle. Now as you can see how neat my own is. See, my own is equal. Are you seeing it? Now don't do your own in a way that this one be so much. Like I saw this thing on some of people's sleeve and some other parts. Like such that this one be excess. Such that even if you do like this, like it's not going to be equal in any way. Do you understand? So as you are looking at it now, we are done with our what?
Bomber jacket.
So